Bob's looking for some advice. He wrote us this morning and says this. I had a serious car accident 2 years ago. It scarred me permanently on my face. The lawsuit is not settled, so how can I get the ball moving faster?
All right, well, the first question is, he says the lawsuit is not settled. I hope if it's been 2 years, the lawsuit is started, in the sense that you have to remember that your case hasn't started until the statement of claim is filed in the court. So if you haven't filed a statement of claim and more than 2 years has passed, your case is over.
Yeah, you're done.
Right. So assuming that he has started a case, I'm also going to assume he has a lawyer. Most of the time, lawyers do move cases along as fast as possible.
Well, they're certainly not going to let them lapse.
Well, that's right. You try not to because, first of all, most lawyers don't get paid until the case is over. So
Right.
we have an interest in moving it forward.
Sure you do.
But often what happens is clients don't know what's going on, and I bet you that's what the question really is here. What is going on with my case?
Right.
And really, what you need to do is call the lawyer's office. And often you can get the answer from the lawyer's law clerk or assistant.
Right.
And just say, you know, I'm sitting here worried about it. What stage is my case at?
What's your policy when it comes to keeping your clients informed? Do you wait for them to call you, or do you try and keep them up to date?
Well, what we do is we copy the clients on all correspondence so they know what's going out and what's coming in. So that's one thing. Because they've also got the book, we have a chart in the book about all of the different steps. So it's easier to follow along with where you are in the process when you've got a list of what's next, what's next.
Well, I'm sure there's nothing more frustrating than waiting for a case, you know, for details on a case that could take a long time to settle, right?
Right. And I mean, the fact is sometimes the cases aren't active because, for example, we have to order all your medical records. So that process can take 3 or 4 months. And while we're waiting...
Just to get those records.
That's right, because, you know, people have seen hundreds of, not hundreds, but dozens of doctors.
Yeah.
And so we're waiting, and nothing's happening on your case while we're waiting for those records.
Right.
And so if you want to call us and find out if nothing's happening, yep, you can call us and we'll tell you, yep, nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
So there's a lot of waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, Dave's on the phone. Dave, are you calling from Stittsville, is that right?
I am so.
How are you today, Dave?
Good. Yourself?
Very good, thanks. What's your question?
Well, the question for Brenda is, I was in an accident a little while ago, and it wasn't my fault, which is neither here nor there, but it was a leased vehicle. The vehicle was written off, but there's a whole bunch of extra costs that fall between the cracks.
Yes.
My insurance company, of course, is providing me with a vehicle to a certain amount of time, which means I haven't found a vehicle yet, so I have to pay for the rental up and above because the settlement was handed to Chrysler. I had to be a Chrysler vehicle. But I'm going to need another week, so I'm going to have to rent that vehicle. Another thing is the difference between, because it was a lease, the difference between the write-off value of the vehicle and what is owing on the vehicle.
Yes.
Okay, so I could be stuck with, I don't know, $1,500 here.
Yeah.
That's not looked after. The cost of running around looking for a vehicle, time off work. Luckily, because of the safety devices on these new vehicles, I walked away from this crash even though it was a write-off. But I do have aches and pains and cuts in my faces, you know, and stuff like that. But the thing is, none of this is covered by the insurance company, and they tell me that I have to wait 6 months before I talk to somebody like you.
Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. As far as the property damage claim goes, if you've already settled it, you know, you can't go back for more. So really, when you're negotiating your property damage claim with the insurance company, you have to squeeze out as much as you can.
Because what's done is done.
That's right. And in terms of, you know, how long you get a rental for, that kind of thing, you're limited by the terms of your policy. You want to make sure that you got everything that you're entitled to.
Right.
But really, the adjusters don't have discretion to extend it by a week or anything like that. And they certainly won't pay for you to look for a car, even though that is, you know, your time is valuable.
Right.
That's not covered under your policy.
Right.
So something that a lot of people don't understand is, you know, well, this is a cost to me. Why isn't the insurance company paying it? And the reason is because it's not in your policy, right? They only pay what's in the policy. There's no discretion.
No.
No. So they may pay you less, but they're not going to pay you more. And then the other thing is the question of why waiting 6 months to talk to a lawyer. that, I mean, I've never heard of that, and there's really no reason for that. If you may potentially have a personal injury claim, you should have an early consultation with a personal injury lawyer. I mean, you may not actually hire someone immediately, but at least know what your rights are and know what you should be doing to protect your case. It sounds like the accident was recent.
Yes.
So if you have cuts and bruises and that kind of thing that are still visible, take pictures. Make sure that you do get medical help
Keep
as
all
early
your
as you...
paperwork.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to document everything because sometimes things seem fine at the beginning but then get much worse.
Dave, call Brenda. Be a good idea.